You hear that? Oh yeah, it's crankbait season.
You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah. You know. I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night. Yeah, let's go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And we're getting into that time of year again. My favorite time of year. The fish are starting to finally move offshore a little bit. Not fully committed yet, but you can find them. And you know what that means? Chucking and winding. My favorite thing to do. Power fish. Fast. Rip them. Stick them. Limp them. Whatever. It's just, it's a really fun time of year. And I have 4 crankbaits here that I want to share with you guys that I've had a lot of success with on the Harris chain. And I believe that with these 4 baits, it covers probably about 75% of the water column you're going to be fishing in out there most of the time. And yeah, I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but I am. So we're going to start off with the deepest and work our way up to the shallowest crankbait I'll be throwing this summer. So first and foremost, I want to start off with the tried and true. Where's it? There it is. That is Strike King's 5XD. And I believe this crankbait dives down to upwards of 14 or 15 feet of water. And that's probably the max depth I'm going to be fishing out there on the Harris chain, because it just doesn't seem like, to me, in my experience, that the fish really gang up and get that deep out there. They do sometimes, but more often than not, I'm actually fishing even shallower than that, believe it or not, because that's pretty deep for a majority of the lakes out there. Number 2, it's got to be that Norman DD22, boy. Fantastic crankbait. And not a crankbait that you see people using very often. A lot of guys love the DT10s, 14s, a lot of Strike Kings. And I just believe the fish don't see this bait that often. And this crankbait will dive down anywhere between, I believe, 8 to 12 foot. You can get it down to 12 foot, no problem, with 10-pound test line. Phenomenal crankbait. I advise you guys to give it a try. I love them, and they're not expensive. Number 3. This is my all-time go-to favorite and most hated crankbait to throw anywhere in the state of Florida, period. Especially when that water heats up and then fish are ready to get after it. Whew. You cannot beat this little bad boy right here, and that is Strike King's 3XD. This little damn thing right here, I have caught more big fish on than I can even count on a crankbait when them water temps get up. For some reason, they just want that smaller profile, and it's a really aggressive little bait. It digs like hell. You fish it 10 foot to 8 foot of water. So 7.5, you get a little bit shallower than that, and it's just not gonna run right. But this bad boy right here will slap flat out catch them Monday through Sunday when them water temps get above 89 degrees. And last but not least, if I'm fishing anywhere from, I'd say, it says on the package that this crankbait will run 8 foot, but the only downside to this crankbait is that it takes a while to get down, and you're only getting like a half cast fishing 8 foot of water at the max. I don't even like throwing it if I'm sitting in 8 foot of water, to be honest with you. This is the Yozuri. What is this? I always forget the name. It's the Yozuri MR60F. And this little bad boy is a bad son of a gun in shallower water. All right, so hooks. What kind of hooks am I throwing on here? I've got two types of hooks that I like to use, and this is all for open water fishing applications, shell bars, rock. That's it. I'm either going to be throwing Mustad, EWG, and just the regular ones. Not the 2 times strong, none of that. I don't throw any of my crankbaits on any supersized hooks unless I'm around heavy cover. You don't need them. If your drag's set right, you got the right rod, you're not going to straighten these hooks out, and you're going to catch 10 times the amount of fish. I can't tell you how many times I've lost fish because of those damn 2 times strong hooks. Make a long cast. As soon as you hit the bottom, if one hits it way out there, you're going to have a hard time drilling them hooks home with what I consider a proper crankbait rod. And they just don't stick. Those regular size hooks stick and they stay in the fish and they get the job done. I'm throwing the Mustad EWGs, matching the hook size. I usually go up 1 hook size from whatever the standard hooks are. Unless I get a weird crankbait that doesn't want to dive properly or whatever, then I'll go back to, I always upgrade the hooks to either the EWGs or the Gamakatsu round bends, but I'll bring them back down to the size hooks that came on the crankbaits, because sometimes that makes a big difference and it's really weird. And you'll understand when you start throwing a lot more crankbaits because it's annoying and whatever. But you got to change those hooks out because it does make a big deal. I don't change my hooks out a lot of times when I'm just screwing around out there and, you know, I just don't have the hooks or I just am lazy. But if it's game day, you're getting the Mustad EWGs, the regular size ones, no extra thickness to them whatsoever, or they're getting the Gamakatsu round bends. Those are the 2 best hooks, in my opinion, on the market, and that's what you should be putting on all your crankbaits. So, line size. For all the crankbaits I just showed you here, I'm not throwing anything heavier than 10-pound test. 10-pound test to me is your best all-around cranking line for shell bars, rock. We don't have much rock out here, but for mostly shell, open water applications, 10-pound test, can't beat it. It gets down to the bottom quicker, stays in the strike zone longer. I believe you get more sensitivity out of it, better casting out of it. And the 2 lines that I switch back and forth on all the time is just the Sunline regular fluorocarbon and Cigar Red Label. Those 2 lines are great. If I can advise you one fishing line to stay away from, it's got to be Yozuri Top Knot. I've had tremendous amounts of problems with that line. I know it's cheap. I know it's a smaller diameter than most fluorocarbon lines in that price range, but let me tell you, I don't know what it is about that stuff, but it always nicks up, and after 1 day of fishing, it is just complete junk, and I hate it. So, Sunline fluorocarbon, regular fluorocarbon, Cigar Red Label, those are the 2 I like, and the only reason why I like them is because they're cheap, and I'm cheap. I got way too much fishing, way too many rods to spool up, and I can't be spending a ton of money online because I'm not rich. As far as rods go, in my experience, you shouldn't be throwing a crankbait on anything under 7 foot 4 inches. There's something about having that longer rod out there, closer to the water, it gets the crankbait down. If I can get away with throwing a crankbait on a 7-11, it's going on a 7-11 every single time because you can cast it farther, you got more control of the fish, and I'm telling you, it gets that crankbait down quicker. Same thing with the 7-4. Not as good as a 7-11, but better than anything under that. Reels, there's 2 gear ratios I like the most for these size crankbaits right here. And it's 6:1 gear ratio, and I don't go any higher than 6:3 gear ratio. I know kids that friggin' throw crankbaits on 7 and 8:1 reels. I don't know how they do it. They swear by it. But for me, my personal preference, 6:1 all the way up to 6:3. Those are my 2 favorite gear ratio types. Back to the rod. The rod you need to be throwing needs to be a medium moderate action rod. I don't care what brand it is. I do not like glass rods. All glass rods, in my opinion, just are not the deal. Every time I've used a glass rod, I hate the fact that when I throw the lure out there, no matter if I'm hitting bottom or not, I can't feel that lure till it's halfway, 3/4 of the way back to the boat. I want to know exactly when I'm on bottom. I want to know exactly when I'm hitting the fish, because that's another big thing out there when you're cranking is you'll find a school fish, you'll cast your line out there and you'll feel yourself bumping into them, whether it's the bait or the bass or whatever. And that keys you in to you're throwing in the right friggin' spot, because if you're banging into fish, bumping fish, feeling like you're getting hit, you are going to trigger a reaction strike sooner or later. I'm not sure what else I have for you guys. That's pretty much it. I hope this short little video helped you all out. Spent a lot of time throwing these lures. Summertime, my opinion, these are the best. Go check them out. Go use them. Let me know if you guys like them. And here's a clip of me catching one on a crankbait. See y'all later. Oh my God, I just hooked a f***ing giant something. I don't know what this is. Oh my God, what is this? This has got to be a gar. If this is a bass, this is the biggest bass to ever swim in the lake. This can't be a bass. This can't be a bass.
Come up and shake one time, little boy.
Dude, it's so heavy. And the way it hit it, he hit it very gar-like.
That bitch in this place, like yank.
Yeah, but if it is a bass.
If it's a gar, then it's a bass there.
Oh, it's a big old bass that I hooked in the back, bro. Get out of here, James. This is like under it. Get out of here. Oh my God, on the other side of the shell bar, bro. Get out of here, bro.
I said, damn, it's gonna be a long night.